got an awesome class built for you today. Just a 45-minute class that's going to focus on lengthening the hamstrings, those muscles behind the legs. So if you are a runner, a sitter, that muscle tends to get really tight and contracted. So we're going to do a lot of leg lengthening today, building towards standing split pose. If you do have a yoga strap or even just an old beat up towel, that might be handy for you as we're going to work on hand to big toe pose, which is a nice extension for the back of the leg. If you don't want to use a strap or a prop, you don't have to. You can still participate in this class. So let's get started. I'll see you on your mat. All right, so come towards the top of your mat. You'll bring the toes slightly in with the heels just a little bit apart so that you've got nice and equal standing. Palms at heart center, eyes can close. We're just going to open the practice with 4 deep rounds of breath. So the inhale to fill the lungs up and hold the air at the top. Now open the mouth and exhale, sigh it out. We take 3 more of those. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Take it with your pace. Then continue breathing normally, but keep the lips sealed. Funnel the air in and out of the nose. Now tuck your chin towards your chest, flutter the eyes at your fingertips, gaze down. A breath in to sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, hands heart center. Now let's find chair pose with your next inhale. So a bend into the knees, sweep the arms up overhead. Basket those hands behind the head, press the head back so that you have a nice straight spine. Hug the navel towards your spine, take a breath in, and on the exhale, a little tick-tock over towards the right. So you're stretching your left side. Inhale back to center. And exhale, take it to the left. Breath in center. Exhale to the right. Breath in center. And exhale left. Let's do 1 more each side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, center, extend those arms, pause. And then take your first forward fold. This is going to be a ragdoll though, so let the feet go pretty wide, bend deeply into the knees, take the elbows and just hang here. As you fill the lungs up with air, see if you can press the lungs against the tops of the thighs. You can shift around, move and sway. And then pause at center, arms extend down. Let's roll up so that the hands can come onto the tops of the thighs and then pause. Really allow yourself to be held up by the arms here. Toes can angle out if that's more comfortable for you. And we're going to find cat-cows here. So on the inhale, press the tailbone back, lift the heart towards the ceiling, gaze up, and exhale, scoop the tailbone under and tuck the chin towards the chest. So again, inhale, push the heart forward, lift the gaze, and exhale to tuck and round. Let's take another one. Inhale, and exhale. Then pause at center, continue climbing, hands up to the hips. Now let's bring the toes towards touch, sweep the arms up, and we'll get into the side body. So let's have that left palm face the ceiling, Right hand circles the wrist and take a dive up and over towards the right. Keep both feet firmly grounded to start. And then you can take it a little further. Step the left toes wider, take a lean further right. Option to find early balance. Float those left toes off of the mat. And then place those feet at center together and we'll swap. So now take that left hand around your right wrist, inhale up, and exhale, side lean left. Keep the breath full, both hips squared forward. And then those right toes can step wide. Option to float on this side. Keep leaning over towards the left. And come back to center, feet to touch, hands to heart. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, take your forward fold and pause. Feet are going to separate about hips width distance. Bend into that right knee so that the right hand can come down. Left leg is straight, left hand to the small of the back. Take a turn to the left. You could stack the shoulders, extending that left arm up towards the ceiling. Look down, bend both knees, and now the left hand is in front of left foot. As you straighten right leg, right hand comes to the small of the back, and you can take a gaze right. Straightening right arm if you took that first side. And then take a look down, soften the knees, both hands to the mat. Let's step back for our very first high plank pose. Take a full inhale here. Exhale, let's go low plank. Upward facing dog. Pause here for a moment. Straighten the arms, press the tops of the feet down, pull your heart forward. And then downward facing dog, hips high. First downward facing dog, it's always nice to explore movement in the hips, in the calves, and the heels. So you can simply shift around, move with your breath, circle head one direction, the other. And then take at least 2 breaths without any movement, settling into this inversion. And then inhale, let the heels rise. Exhale, bend knees and look forward. Inhale, you can hop or walk the feet to touch. Exhale, take a forward fold. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. We'll take one sun A. Reach up, inhale. Dive forward, exhale. Step, inhale, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward face, pull heart forward. Downward dog, exhale. Try to settle into this dog with less movement. Set the eye gaze somewhere between the legs. And then let's lower the knees down to the mat. Let the knees go pretty wide, bring those toes towards touch and untuck the toes. Let the hips sink down for child's pose. Walk those arms forward and then over towards the left. So you're reaching those right fingertips really far away. You can even tent onto the right fingertips, kind of spiraling yourself open towards the right. And then walk back to center for a breath. then take it over to the right. So really reach that left hand nice and long. Gaze can be under left arm as you lift that rib cage away from your mat. And back to center. So you're going to walk yourself up so you're sitting back on your heels. Then we're going to take a twist. So the right hand behind you and the left arm is up. Then you can simply slice that hand across towards the right thigh and gaze behind you. One of my favorite stretches is getting into the quadricep and the hip flexor. So we can do that by placing that right hand down, lifting the hips high, and you can extend that left arm back. Let's take that to the other side. So the hips come down. Let's walk left hand back, right hand swings around, simple twist towards the left. And then the left hand all the way down, hips rise, and the right arm extends up and back. Sink those hips down, facing forward. Let's walk out to your high plank pose. Hands forward, feet back, hug the core in, and then take it lower, low plank. Upward face, and downward facing dog. Allow that right leg to float into the air. You can take a moment to stack and roll the hip open, even peeking underneath that right arm. And straighten that leg, look forward and sweep. Right foot all the way towards the top of the mat. Use the inhale to rise up, high lunge. Really settle into the lunge, into that front knee. Squeeze the inner thighs together so you feel that left hip come in alignment with your right. Now we're going to bring hands to heart center and bend into that back knee just so it's hovering. It doesn't have to touch down to the mat. Then inhale, straighten both legs. Sweep the arms up overhead, and this time we're going to keep the legs straight, open the arms wide, and take a twist towards the right. So with the breath, inhale, just face forward again. Exhale, bend knees, hands to heart. Inhale, straighten everything up, and exhale, twist to the right. We'll go one more round. Inhale, face forward. Exhale, bend and lower. Inhale, sweep back up, and exhale, twist right. Hold here for a few breaths, trying to reach those thumbs to touch behind you. And then face forward again. Rest the hands at the hips, bend the front knee for a moment, just so we can hop that back foot in a bit, and then return that heel to center. So the hips are squared forward, the back toes are about 11 o'clock. Let the arms go wide, and then basket the hands behind the head once again. Breath in to stand nice and tall. Then turn the torso so you're facing those right toes. Take a lean out over that right leg. Lift the elbows towards the ceiling. Inhale to rise all the way back up. Arms extend, bend to that front knee. Let's take the hands to frame that right foot and then wiggle those left toes back so you're in your runner's lunge. Take the right arm up and sweep it all the way open behind you so you've got a low lunge twist. And then just like we did in your high lunge, You have the option to float that left arm out in front of you. Similar shape we were just in, just a little lower. Now let's windmill those arms back down, and that right foot plants back, high plank pose. Exhale, forward, halfway low plank. Upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. So let's revisit your high plank pose, and this time the heels are going to drop towards the left. So you've got your side plank. Option for that left knee to drop down for support. Right arm is going to float up. So we have an option for a toe bind here. It would look like floating that right leg, trying to take a hold of that big toe, and then just working on straightening that leg as much as it can. Then carefully unload that hand and foot down plank. Let's lift and go straight to down dog, but take a half step in. So you've got a short downward facing dog. And then let's take that left hand that was just holding you up, thread underneath, and find somewhere along that right leg. Allow yourself to look underneath right arm in a twist. Then release, walk out to a standard downward facing dog, float left leg, and step forward. High lunge on the left side, inhale, sweep the arms up. Let's bend the elbows to 90 degrees, and you've got the palms facing forward. Find your nice lunge in that front knee, lock the core in, and then take this into a back bend. Float the heart higher, extend the arms back. Then come back to center and find your warrior two. Drop the back heel down and take a soft gaze over those front fingertips. One step further, side angle, glide out, left elbow to thigh, right arm up and over. Now another variation here for you, similar to those wide arms we've been doing all class. The right arm is just going to reach back, so it's about the same height as your shoulder. Keep the angle of the torso, but maybe you float that left arm straight out. Then come all the way up, warrior two, and windmill yourself down. Left foot picks up, step it back, plank, and exhale, low plank. Upward face, and downward facing dog. And then we'll drop the knees down to the mat. Let's find your tabletop. Right leg extends into the air. And you can do this with both hands down. If you want the added balance, left arm extends out in front of you. A breath in to lift, and then a simple crunch in, working that knee towards the elbow. Inhale again, press and lift, and exhale, crunch. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, extend, pause. Left hand down, kick that left shin a little wider, and now we're stacking the hips so that right leg is floating. You should still see that foot. It shouldn't have crept all the way behind you. Now we can unload this right arm up overhead. You can circle that wrist out. Now here's a funky transition for you if you'd like to give it a try. We're going to sweep that right leg all the way out in front of you. Try to take that big toe bind again. And then we're going to continue shifting that right heel all the way to the top of the mat. Now if that transition didn't work for you, come into it in a way that does. Then let's set up the alignment. So the heel in line with the hip. Left knee is under your left hip. And try to even the hips off, so pull that left one forward. Right toes are facing you, so you're really pulling them back. Option for balance. Right hand pulls the toes, left hand on top. If you've got this, think up dog, pull heart forward. Left hand down, right hand meets it. Pull the heel towards you so you can rebend into that knee. Take a moment climbing the hands up to that thigh and just peeling your chest away from your thigh. Then both hands will return down to the mat. Tuck the back toes under, lift that knee, and right foot takes a step back, high plank. Exhale, low plank. Upward face, and downward facing dog. Lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward, hop or step feet to touch at top of mat, and then take your fold. A breath in to sweep, and exhale, center. So we're going to work towards some standing balances. We're going to work hand to big toe pose. So you can work a straight leg if you've got a towel or a strap around, but you definitely don't need it if you don't have it. So left hand to your hip. Let's float this right knee higher. Take your peace fingers as we've been doing, loop that right big toe, keep the right knee hugging in, and then you work on extending that right leg. Mindfully pull that right shoulder back in space. Stand strongly in that left leg. Now here's the heavy part. Keep that foot lifted, right hand to your hip. Let's sweep to a warrior three, so that right leg back, and then hands tent down. Stack right hip on top of left. Once again, you should see that foot. It should not have swept behind you. Building towards your half moon, right hand to hip, all the way up overhead. You can look down to the side or lifted. Left hand may get a little lighter. Now let's all look down and tent those right fingertips. Right toes are going to step just behind those left ones, so there's definitely some space between the feet. Now walk the hands a little closer to you and float that left leg in the air. So peek at those left toes. Don't let them open out towards the side. Challenge those toes to face down. We're going to find a standing split, so keep walking the hands as close to that right foot as you can get them. One hand could wrap around the ankle, possibly both hands, and you're just working on guiding the chest a little closer towards the leg. Then both hands release, walk the hands forward, step that left foot all the way back, right foot meets it, high plank pose, exhale, low plank. To upward face and downward facing dog. Lower those knees down to the mat. So just like child's pose, bring the toes towards touch, but let the knees go a little bit wider. Walk the hands closer to you. Now let's tuck those toes under. Toe mounts are touching. Try to get the heels towards touch. As you walk yourself back, the knees may float and come open towards the side. So it's a variation of a bound angle pose. And if you'd like to work on the balance, the hands come up to heart center. And then let's release. Walk the hands forward, knees drop down, untuck the toes, child's pose. Hips down, arms can walk forward or behind you. And then let's find your downward dog. Arms forward. Let's re-lift those hips all the way up towards the ceiling. Left leg will now float in the air, three-legged dog. So feel free to allow that hip to stack and open. You can bend the knee, looking underneath left arm. And then look forward, take a big step, left foot inside that left thumb. Get the lunge in that knee, back heel stays lifted, and then those arms float up. So even here, you can squeeze those inner thighs together from keeping that right hip opening up. Relax the hands to heart and bend into that back knee. On the inhale, we're going to straighten both legs, extend the arms overhead. And then on this exhale, arms wide, take a twist left. Inhale, reface forward. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale to re-extend. And exhale, open left. Inhale, center. Exhale, bend. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left, pause in the twist. Squeeze those inner legs together, reach that right thumb back. And then as you come back to center, rest those hands to hips. A little bend into that front knee just so you can hop that back foot in and then drop the heel down. So the foot is angled at about 1 o'clock. Let's sweep the arms up, basket hands behind the head. Press the head into the hands. Inhale, lift. Take a slight turn so that the chest is facing those left toes. And then lean out over that left leg. Allow the arms to extend up. Inhale, we'll re-rise. Arms extend, bend this front knee, and let the hands come all the way down. So now we need to wiggle those right toes back so you've got your runner's lunge. The hips are pretty low here. Right hand down, let's sweep this left arm all the way up and open. Now if you went towards the balance and the strong core on the first side, get lighter on that right hand, and the arms are going to mirror the shape they were just in. Then look down, both hands to the mat. Pick up left foot, step back, high plank. Exhale, low plank. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. So in order to come to your high plank pose, you might need to scooch the feet back so you've got a nice stack of your joints. And then the heels drop right. Again, you can lower that right knee if needed. Left arm lighter and reaches. Now you can stay here, you can float that left foot, or you can try for the big toe bind. And then you just work on extending that leg as much as it can. Carefully release, come right through plank, go straight to down dog and shorten it up, feet in a bit. Now that right hand, let it sweep underneath you, take somewhere along left leg and twist left. Then return to your short dog and walk it out to your regular downward facing dog. Right leg will float for a moment. Step right foot forward. Setting up for your high lunge. Inhale, the arms up. Find a 90-degree bend with the palms facing forward. Keep the bend, but now let's lift the chest higher and really press those arms and shoulders back. Center, arms overhead, warrior two. Back heel down, and now the arms nice and wide. Take it into your side angle, so glide out, right elbow down, left arm up and over. Going one step further, the left arm can now reach back, the height of the shoulder. And then adding much more core strength, the right arm floats straight out in front of you. So the shoulders are in line with each other. Keep breathing. Inhale, come up, warrior two. Flip the palms. And exhale, take it down. Right foot picks up to step back plank. And exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Lifting up, inhale. And downward dog. Exhale. Knees to the mat, tabletop. Spread the fingers wide and set that left leg in the air. If you went for full balance, we've got the right arm out. Take an inhale to lift the thumb and the heel, and then the exhale to crunch under. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, crunch. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, extend, and then drop that right hand down. Kickstand right shin wider, and now stack the hip. Foot is in line with your ankles, or foot is in line with your knee, so you should see it. Don't let that leg sweep behind you. Left arm up, so we've got a grounded half moon. Now here's that funky transition. So you try and sweep that leg off the side of the mat. See if you can hook that big toe. And then we take it one step further, sweeping that left leg forward. And then take a moment to set the alignment up. So right knee under the hip, foot is in line with the left hip, and then you might need to swing that right hip forward. Think upward dog, heart forward, and your tailbone is lifted here. So try not to scoop under. Left hand could find the toes, helping draw them back. Right hand could work full balance. Right hand down, left hand follows. Scooch that heel back so you can bend into the knee. Now we get some opening to the front of that right hip. Walk the elbows up to left thigh and just take a few breaths here. Then let's release the hands down. Tuck the back toes under, lift that knee, and take your step back. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, let those legs work. Press the tops of the feet down. Hips high, down dog. Inhale, lift heels. Exhale, bend knees, look forward. Hop or step feet to hands. And exhale, fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, take it up. And exhale, Samastitihi, heart center. So we'll find those same standing balances from the first side. If you found a towel or strap helpful, you can take that again on this side. So you'll have your right hand to your hip, left knee hugs in, and those peace fingers wrap left big toe. Work on extending that left leg. It doesn't need to be completely straight, but you'll be stretching your hamstring. Shoulders in line, so try to draw back on the left one, and press that right foot down. This is the hardest part, I think. Keep that leg lifted, left hand to your hip, so heavy. Now warrior three, sweep that leg behind you, look forward, and then tent those fingertips down. Stack left hip on top of right, so you've got your half moon pose, and then you find and build your pose. Left hand to hip, overhead, gaze down or all the way up, and maybe lighter on that right hand. Let's return the hands down. Step that left foot just a little behind the right one. Hands all the way down, and we sweep that right leg up in the air. Now hips like to open up here with the toes facing right. See if you can get those right toes facing down so you work on an honest standing split. Hands walk closer to that left foot. Try and lift the right foot. An option to work on balance. One or both hands could wrap the left ankle. And then release the hands, walk them forward, right foot back, left foot back, high plank. Exhale, low plank. Upward face and downward facing dog. Well done. Take a few deep breaths here. Look forward. Let's come to sit. So bringing those feet out to touch in front of you for your bound angle pose. Hands behind you, try to bump those hips as close as you can towards the feet. Sitting tall, take a hold of the inner arches and sit tall. Drop your chin towards your chest. Let the knees relax. Find a couple deep breaths. Then lift the chin. And imagine the heart could go beyond the toes. So that's your forward fold, leaning out as opposed to down. And then one final piece, allow the head to drop all the way down towards the feet. Let the chin tuck, feel the space coming to the upper back now and the shoulder blades. And then roll yourself up. So we'll take one final symmetrical forward fold. We did all of the hamstring stretching one at a time, so now we'll get into both at the same time. Toe mounts touching, little space at the heels, draw the toes towards you, sit tall, and again, chest to the toes as opposed to nose towards the knees. So you're reaching out in these forward folds. And then guide yourself back up. Bump your hips a little closer towards about mid-mat and scoop underneath your thighs. Lean and rock back, find a boat pose. You could have arms underneath the legs or you extend them out, but squeeze those thighs together. And then try to take 2 slow, controlled breaths to sink your boat all the way down onto your back. Once you've arrived, hug your knees in, rock side to side. Knees drop over towards the left. Find a 90-degree bend into that right elbow and take a look towards the right. Then come back to center. Let the knees now drop over towards the right. Left arm at that 90-degree bend, gazing towards the left. And back to center. Let's end class with a simple happy baby. So we'll find that bend into the knees, take a hold of the feet or behind the thighs, and draw those legs down towards the mat. You can add a rock side to side. Once again, wrap those arms around the legs. Try to curl up, nose towards the knees. Big breath in. And exhale, let it go. Find your Shavasana. Let the body rest in a nice, comfortable position. Eyes closed. Enjoy these next few moments of rest. Allow the fingers and the toes and the head to start to very slowly move around as you add on a couple of deep breaths to reawaken. Adding more movement to the arms, the legs. Final stretch with the arms back and the legs forward. And then wrap the arms around the legs. Take a light landing onto your right side. And then come all the way up to a comfortable seated position. Eyes can remain lightly closed if that's something you're comfortable with, and palms may press at heart center. Let's take one final virtual breath together, in through the nose. Sigh it out. I hope you enjoyed this practice. Thank you for sharing your energy. Namaste. If you made it to the end of class, well done. Feel free to snap a photo of yourself on the mat, maybe doing one of the poses, and don't forget to tag me in it on Instagram. One of the biggest thank yous you can give me is by subscribing right here below. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste, yogis.